What is going on, investors? In this video, I want to share with you a stock that I have been buying heavy. Okay, so this is a new position that myself on my Discord took full advantage of last week and the previous weeks when the markets were selling off. We were loading up on Airbnb. Okay, so I want to share with you my reasons for why I decided to buy into Airbnb, and one of the reasons why I've decided to make Airbnb one of my largest positions. It hasn't quite broken into top 5 just yet, but it's definitely sitting around my top 6, top 7 largest holdings, and I think there's still great opportunity ahead of us. So if you gain any value in today's content, please make sure you smash the like button. With that said, let's dive into it. So I started buying Airbnb on the 9th of August. Okay, so I sent this alert out to my Discord. I said I picked up 50 shares of Airbnb as a starter position here at $148.67. Now, most of you guys know I have a number of properties listed on Airbnb, and the demand I have seen since lockdown was eased in the UK has been incredible. And that has been the case, okay? We have never been busier. I'm going to show you some of my properties now. This is my property website. It's called citydreams.co.uk, and again, all of these properties are listed on Airbnb, but I'm just going to show you my website so as a quick plug. All right, so if you're ever in Manchester or if you're ever in Oxford city centre and you need a place to stay, hook your boy up. I got 5 flats up in Manchester. They're all located in the city centre, and I have one 2-bedroom house in Oxford. Okay, so this is flat C, and as you can see, I mean, it's pretty good. Your boy did good, you know. We've got, you know, we've made it look really fashionable. We've got very bright colored walls so that it stands out on Airbnb, because again, there's a lot of competition in Airbnb. So as you can see, these are the rooms here. I mean, fantastic rooms. So I think that's a quick plug for my property business. Now back to the video. But essentially, the reality is we have never been busier. My calendars are booked. And as well as that, we also increased our prices. And the reason why we had to increase our prices was because Airbnb increased their commission charges on hosts per booking. So I shared it with my Discord here. I said Airbnb has also increased their commissions on hosts from 3% to 18%, guys. From 3% to 18% charges per booking. So of course, naturally, you offset the cost to the customer. And as a result, of course, we're able to keep our margins intact. But Airbnb's margins are absolutely skyrocketing. So the money that they are taxing from my own business alone should cover Airbnb's earnings. So I started buying prior to Q2 earnings, okay? But on a serious note, I intend to build this into a large position as opposed to when we swing traded it earlier this year. So when Airbnb IPO'd earlier this year, you know, we saw that run up and then it pulled back quite significantly to about $130. Then I started buying as a swing trade and we sold again once the share price hit $200. But this time around, after doing my due diligence and after studying the company and also looking at the management, I decided I'm going to make this into a long-term position rather than swing trade. So I said, I understand the business extremely well. Plus, I read some research papers over the weekend detailing the potential growth in the sharing economy industry. Okay, and experts have the CAGR ranging between 20 to 25% by 2025. That's insane. That's much faster than the plant-based food industry, which I am massive in with Tattooed Chef. I mean, the growth in the sharing economy, according to the analysts, this is in line with the likes of data analytics. Massive growth within the sharing economy. And I mean, if you think about it, and when it comes to peer-to-peer accommodation, as I mentioned here, Airbnb currently controls 5% of this market, according to Credit Suisse. I have been a long admirer of Brian Chesky and the story behind how he built this business. So essentially with Brian and 2 of his mates, they are pretty much the co-founders. He also remains the second largest shareholder with 11.05% stake in the business. I have, of course, left tons of wiggle room to add on dips using the Fibonacci retracement tool as taught in live video lesson. So we did a live video lesson teaching all of our Discord members how to plot the Fibonacci retracement tool quite effectively. It was hosted and taught by one of our valuable Discord members, Kay. So shout outs Kay. But essentially, we've used that tool as our guide to set buy levels. And as you can see with the Fibonacci retracement tool set for Airbnb, we pulled back to a key level of support, and this was when we started buying at this support level here. I also sent out another alert following up that I picked up an additional 30 shares of Airbnb at $146.88. And then finally last week, I also alerted my Discord that I picked up another 15 more shares of Airbnb and aiming to build Airbnb into a top 6 holding. Okay, so I'm currently sitting on 97 shares. All right, and my plan is to get it to about 150 shares. Hopefully if we see a pullback anytime soon. But I mean, at these current levels right now, you can see Airbnb, we're up 7% today, but we are at a key level of resistance. So if this resistance level doesn't hold, which I hope it doesn't, and we pull back to test support once again, then I'll continue to load, because I still need about 53 more shares before my position is absolutely built. So yeah, I'm hoping that this doesn't hold and we pull back quite significantly, because like I said, I'm in this for the long term. Now, why am I so bullish on Airbnb? First of which, their Q2 absolutely smashed it. I already told you guys that I've seen the increase in demand in my own Airbnb business. So I anticipated Airbnb having a solid Q2 in terms of nights booked. Wasn't entirely sure how the experience side of the business would go, but I knew from a nights booked point of view, they should crush it, and that's exactly what they did. Okay, so in Q1 2020, they reported 57.1 million nights, total nights, okay? But of course, Q2 was when we saw lockdowns, the economy. We just started taking the C-Roni seriously. The bookings pretty much halved in Q2 2020. But as you can see, it's been a steady rise ever since, okay? So in Q3, we saw a massive rise to 61.8 million nights booked. Q4, if you look at Airbnb's previous financials, Q4 has, for some reason, been a weak quarter in terms of the total numbers being booked, which is quite surprising, because you would think over Q4, over that period would be Christmas. It's a high season period. So that was quite surprising when I was doing my due diligence on Airbnb. But nonetheless, I mean, Q4 has been a weak quarter in terms of nights and experiences booked. But I mean, since then, it's been nothing but upside in Q1 and also Q2, with Q2 now going back to the highs of 2019 at 83.1 million nights booked. So this is fantastic. So you could almost deem this a turnaround play, because of course the business was heavily affected during 2020, but we are coming out strong right now, and I don't see this slowing down anytime soon. And again, taking a look at revenue and operating income, I mean, operating income was absolutely hammered in Q4 2020, but they have since recovered, a solid recovery in Q1 2021. And we were so close to being profitable in Q2. But nevertheless, what an awesome recovery from Q4 in 2020. So these factors are what I'm looking at. I'm looking at signs of a recovery, and these are the signs that I'm paying attention to. You can see the operating margins, gross margin, also profit margins are also making a strong recovery back to the upside. The margins absolutely tanked in Q4 2020, but look at this strong recovery. And, you know, with everything opening back up right now, we had news of the vaccine getting FDA approval yesterday. And regardless of whatever your stance is relating to the vaccination and it being approved and whatnot, don't want to get political in this video, but this is great news for investors. And from the recent rallies we are seeing, it's restoring investor confidence in the markets. And as a result, I do see these margins significantly improving as Brian and the company continue to execute. Now, as a result of our incredible Q2, many analysts have come out and they've raised their price targets. Here we have Wells Fargo analyst Brian Fitzgerald, who raised the firm's price target on Airbnb to $210, and that's up from essentially $200, and essentially maintains an overweight rating on the shares. If you look at another analyst from HSBC, they raised their firm's price target on Airbnb to $219 from $210, and they maintained a buy rating on the shares after the company reported Q2 adjusted EBITDA that beat consensus on revenue. Okay, so that's fantastic. And another key analyst here is Needham Analysts, who raised their price targets on Airbnb to $200, and it was essentially from $194, and they maintain a buy rating. So this is fantastic to see. Now, another reason why I'm so incredibly bullish is because the co-founders, Joseph, Brian, and Nathan, are the top 4 largest shareholders in Airbnb. That's insane. Considering how popular Airbnb is on Wall Street at the moment, the fact that Joseph, Brian, and Nathan are still majority shareholders gives me even more confidence, especially in Brian Chesky. So it shows the co-founders still have skin in the game. And as a result, that means they're going to make decisions that benefit not only themselves, but of course, shareholders. So essentially, our interests are aligned. And this is something we love to see. It's a pro that we have with Tattooed Chef, with Sam Gillespie being the largest shareholder. And also with HIMS, when you look at HIMS, Andrew Dudum is one of the largest shareholders in HIMS. So this is something that I look for now when doing my research in the stock. So the other 2 stocks that I've been buying recently was HIMS. I've been aggressively buying HIMS, and I've done my update video for HIMS, so you can check that out if you haven't already. And I've also finalized my position in Baba. Okay, so I picked up my final shares of Baba at a whooping $164. My average is now $191, and I don't intend on buying any more Baba. Happy with my exposure and my risk with this investment. So that's pretty much my position in Alibaba. My average is $191 a share, and I'm done. Okay, I'm not going to add any more money to it. I'm just going to leave the business and let them continue to execute. And we should see a nice recovery, which represent nice gains for investors who held in the long term once the sentiment towards Chinese stocks changes. So that's what I've been up to recently. Let me know in the comment section below what stocks you have been buying recently. Remember, none of this is financial advice. I'm just making you guys aware of decisions that myself and my Discord have been taking. If you are interested in joining my Discord, the Patreon link is in the description below. But with that said, if you get any value, please make sure you smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to stay up to date with all of my latest videos. With that said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.